But now the moment that I know everybody's been waiting for, 58449 is the Cellular Plus text line if you want to text in a question during this. But on the phone right now, we have a literal legend right now. We have got Kermit the Frog. Good morning, Kermit.
Good morning, my friend. It's funny for someone to call you a legend. It makes you feel honored and old all at the same time.
Yeah, well, you've been acting since 1955, so that's
that's true. That's true.
You could consider yourself a little bit old. What's going on in life? Let's start off with the movie. You've got the movie The Muppets coming out.
That's true. That's true. We have this brand new film. I don't know why they chose the title The Muppets. It seems appropriate, though. And it stars myself and Miss Piggy and Fozzie and all the Muppets.
Is there any sort of drama on the set with Miss Piggy and Amy Adams? Was she a little? Did the Piggy get a little jealous?
Well, yeah. There's always drama on the set with Miss Piggy. There's never a moment when there's not some sort of drama going on. So Piggy decided she was going to have it put in her contract that all of her scenes would be shot separately and matted in later. She just didn't really want to act around anyone. She said it's distracting to act around other actors.
Yeah, I can understand that. I saw, speaking of you and Miss Piggy are still a couple, correct?
Well, it's sort of a scary subject. We are. We've been together for a long, long time, but every time we do a new film, Piggy starts the whole paparazzi and
I saw Miss Piggy last week or early. Yeah, it must have been last week on Jay Leno. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was a little touchy-feely. But I guess that comes with the territory when you're with Mickey Rourke. I think they cut it out, but I think he did that with Jay as well. So I don't take it too personally.
Good to hear. What else?
Yeah, I have about 17 cups of coffee, which is I'm sort of caffeine dependent at the moment. It is my drug of choice, and I'm proud. And but an ideal day for Kermit the Frog is to wake up back home in the swamp.
Asshole paparazzi, all of that.
You know, you'd be surprised, Jay. Back in the swamp, you can swamp. I mean, it's very wet and moist, and you don't have to wear any clothes. That appeals to some people.
Yeah.
Others it doesn't. But
I think that's good advice for. There's a lot of celebrities that could probably take that advice. Lindsay Lohan maybe could lay low. Good. What's the movie? The Muppets. The movie. I know a lot of people are excited for it. November 23rd, 2 weeks from tomorrow, is when the film opens. What's the movie about? I mean, it's obviously the Muppets are there. What happens in the film?
Well, the story in the film, of course, the Muppets have been together for a long time. We do lots of work always, but in our film, the story is that the Muppets have actually been separated for quite some time. And a little guy named Walter, who is a new Muppet, comes along, and he is the ultimate Muppet fan. And Walter comes to Los Angeles to find the Muppets and help us reunite in order to save our theater, which is in jeopardy from an evil oil baron played by the actor Chris Cooper, who I must tell you, Chris Cooper is sort of a method actor, and he's a little scary on the set. He's
going on?
Yeah.
There's a lot of...
In case you ever do, don't be put off by the intensity in the man's face.
The cameos that you enjoyed, some of the celebrities that you liked working with on the film.
Well, I must admit, as a cold-blooded amphibian, I seem to be particularly drawn to mammals, and I particularly liked working with Emily Blunt, and I worked with Rashida Jones, which was wonderful. And Miss Piggy wasn't too happy about either one of those, but I'm still gonna maintain that I enjoyed it.
Excellent, good. Are you ever intimidated by as the Muppets, as a team, as a group, as an organization? Are you guys ever intimidated by other groups like the Sesame Street gang?
Oh no, not intimidated. In fact, those guys are my friends. I got my start there, and I try to get back to Sesame Street whenever I can. I still have this. Everything's okay. If they kiss me, I'm not quite sure what happens. But there aren't that many princesses out there, so I'm not sure I'll ever know.
Yeah, it's rare that you get to talk to somebody like Kermit the Frog. So I kind of want to know what you think of what's going on in the world. You brought up the Occupy movement, Occupy Wall Street. What's your take on that?
Well, I tell you, it's a tough position for a frog to take because I live in the swamp.
Happy with the verdict, or were you not following that trial?
Oh, no, I know all about it. I actually saw him myself to get a recommendation for a new veterinarian. But the veterinarian's fine. I don't know about Conrad, and I'm certainly sorry about Michael, but the veterinarian's been great. I don't do any of that milk stuff. I just...
Do you want to do like a mobster movie? Do you want to be a sexy leading man? Would you want to be the next James Bond? Like what's...
Frog in Hollywood, and it can be difficult to get certain roles, being 18 inches tall and green. But
I like imagining.
I think the Muppets out in the desert with 6-shooters and horses. I think that would be a lot of fun.
We would do. They actually filmed an episode of Modern Family up in Wyoming, which is right here by Montana. It's just like.
I think. Am I wrong? Does Ted Turner own half the state?
Yeah, just about. Yeah, just about. Are you close with Ted?
So I know him from there.
Good. Yeah, if you guys come up here, I'll take you and Miss Piggy out for dinner.
I would love that. I would love that. I'll send you all of Piggy's dietary requirements before we get there.
Good. Are you keeping her on a strict diet, like a low carb sort of thing, to keep her in shape? She looks good.
No, it's funny. Piggy was actually on.
Somebody on our Sailor Plus text line thinks that you sound a lot like our traffic reporter, John Arneson. Here, are you familiar?
Really?
Are you familiar with John Arneson? Are you guys related somehow?
I don't know John. Is John there?
He's not in the studio with us right now. He's in his traffic copter, but he's
this morning. I have to tell you, Jay, I've been doing so much talking to people on radio and television. I'm not sure what I sound like this morning. Maybe I should take up traffic reporting today.
You might. It might be a new thing for you. What do you have coming up television wise? Are you doing any big appearances that we should watch out for?
I am actually going to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show on November the 9th, which I'm looking forward to. I've never worked with Ellen, and I think she and I are perhaps semi-kindred spirits. We certainly have some things in common. And we're all over the place. There are so many appearances coming up to promote the film. We are definitely out there right now.
A busy frog. Well, The Muppets, the movie premieres 2 weeks from tomorrow. It looks great. Is this a movie, Kermit, just for kids, or is the whole family going to like this?
I think it's a family film. My hope for the film is that all those adults out there who grew up with us over the last 30 years will now be able to take their children.
Is Kermit?
Well, in human years, I'm 55 years old, but human years for frogs is about 10.
So you're old.
Well, I'm hoping, by human standards, but